Welcome to the launch of the new electric VanMoof S3 and X3. Shortly you will be introduced to the most advanced e-bikes we've ever made. We'll share the story behind these game-changing rides and give you the first glimpse of the top features you've been waiting for. This is a milestone of VanMoof's decade-long mission to create the perfect city bike. By ditching the industry's rulebook and redefining the bicycle, we're changing the way we move in the cities of tomorrow. Supported by a global community of riders, VanMoof is resetting city mobility forever. It's time to ride the future. Here to present our latest move in getting the next billion on bikes, VanMoof co-founders Thies and Taco Carlier.
Hi and welcome all of you watching around the globe. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Taco Carlier and I'm the proud co-founder of VanMoof. The original plan was to launch our new game-changing bikes together with a live audience, with our riders and with our colleagues and with the people we love. But then the COVID-19 crisis came along. And of course we had to adjust our plans accordingly. So here I am, standing in front of a camera coming to you from Amsterdam. The online demo is a combination of live streaming, 3D animations and short films. We are going to share everything about the bikes and about the design process leading up to today. But first, let me introduce my brother and VanMoof co-founder Thies. We started VanMoof together over 10 years ago and I loved every single day of it. Thies is my biggest inspiration as well as the most creative and brilliant engineer I know. So let's get over to Thies. Thies, where are you right now?
I am here in the brand new VanMoof factory in Taipei. A large part of the R&D and operations is done in Taipei with about 40 people. But we're only here because of the 300 brilliant minds around the world. So I want to make a big shout out for the whole team around the world.
In the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to show how 11 years of continuous innovation made it possible for us to create the ultimate commuter machine. We will show you how we're redefining not only the e-bike itself, but also redefining how bikes are produced. And we're going to disrupt the entire micromobility industry with our most accessible price ever for our best bike ever. I honestly can't contain my excitement, so welcome all of you to the VanMoof S3 and X3 launch. Before we get into it, a quick word on how this online launch works. We're really happy to share this special moment with you and we would love to hear your thoughts as we go. So there's a button on the bottom right of your screen to react and leave comments. And you can share any burning questions too. At the end of the launch, we have time for a Q&A where we will pick some of the questions and answer them as transparently as possible. Of course, in the past few months, the world has changed. And it will never be the same again. A quarter or a third of the world's population is currently in some kind of lockdown. You might say it's a bit strange time to launch a bike. But today we want to introduce you to the best bike in the world at a time when we believe it's more needed than ever. Because someday soon, the world will come back into motion. We will start commuting again, and we will have the choice for how we go forward. As VanMoof, we want to nudge people in a more sustainable direction. So we've created the ultimate way to commute. And not only that, this bike brings us one step closer to our bigger mission of getting the next billion people on bikes. Because it's time for cleaner cities with healthier and happier people. It's always been our goal to get as many people on bikes as in our hometown Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, over half of all commutes are by bike. And that's easy, because Amsterdam has almost the perfect conditions. It's small, it's flat, and the climate is, well, pretty cold. E-bikes can turn cities around the globe into little Amsterdams. They flatten hills, shrink cities, and save you from sweating. And this is exactly what will start the revolution. Quality e-bikes have the potential to transform the urban commute. And by making that high quality more affordable, we are turning this movement into a global revolution. And Thies and I are going to show you how. I want to share the next step in our vision. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the new electric VanMoof S3 and X3. The most powerful, most technologically advanced e-bikes we've ever made, designed for the cities of tomorrow. It's time to ride the future.
Yes, that's right. It's a lot more technology for a very, very revolutionary price point of under 2,000 US dollars or euros. This is going to be a real game changer. It's designed to get the next generation of riders on bicycles around the world. These are the most innovative and powerful bikes VanMoof has ever made. But there's more to it. Our secret is we are breaking the industry conventions with how these bikes are produced. With the S3 and X3, VanMoof has taken ownership of the entire supply chain, building a hyper-efficient manufacturing and distribution system. When we started VanMoof 11 years ago, our first bike was 80% made out of standard components. Think about that. 8 out of 10 parts to make the bike came from third-party suppliers. To this day, that is still the standard for the whole bicycle industry, basically. Conventional bike companies are addicted to third-party suppliers, which results into very little differentiation and no true innovation. The problem with this old-fashioned industry model is that the quality, design, and ultimately the price is defined by those big third-party suppliers. This, we found early on, stands in the way of both quality and accessible pricing. So, as some of you already know, we long ago set out to design the best commuter bike from the ground up with the rider needs in mind. This means we design parts and features that don't exist yet. Over time, we've completely broken out of this conventional supply chain structure. Today, we not only develop everything on the bike ourselves, we are truly independent, having full control over the supply chain. That means we own all the design from every single part of the bike, from that last tiny chip to actually even the software that runs on that chip. This new level of ownership and control, together with our direct-to-consumer approach, allows us to produce premium quality bikes for a very affordable price. Today, we are lifting the bicycle industry into the consumer electronic industry. But enough of all that. Now for the fun part, let me tell you about the bikes themselves. So on the motor, guys, our main goal is, as always, to keep that really natural riding experience. It's almost like you're riding a normal bike, but then on a day that you feel like Superman. That means with this new motor, we have made it slightly smaller than the S2 and the X2 motor. We made it slightly lighter, but we achieved to get double the power out of the motor. So it makes it also completely silent at every speed. It means no vibration or sounds at any speed. Also will add up to that very natural riding experience. When we design the motor, maybe one of the most important things is actually inside the electronics that control the motor, and why we can really step up there and make it much higher level is that that's all controlled from the main central computer, so it's not a separate part, and makes it a lot smarter and more efficient than anything else out there in the market. We have taken a huge step forward with shifting components. It's been like since the start of VanMoof, I think, that we've always been thinking about how can we make shifting gears on a bicycle better and more effortless. It feels like such like a previous century thing that you still have to manually shift your gears on a very high-tech bicycle. So with the S2, the previous bike, we already had the 2-speed, but it was like a mechanical shifting. Now we wanted to bring this forward and add 2 more gears, so you have 4 speeds, but what's even more important, it's actually electronically arranged. So it's much smarter, it's centrally controlled, which brings in a much better riding experience. It feels like magic, basically. It's been 3 years of work, but the result is you never have to think about shifting gears again. With the turbo boost on the X3 and X3, we actually make it even more fun than with the S2 and S2. Everyone, I think, knows the S2 and X2 boost was already one of the most fun and cool features of the bike. That's why we made it now with the new bike even more fun than before. It's this one press of a button that gives you this extra boosting power. It's very, very useful in San Francisco to get up a hill, or just in the city in Amsterdam if you want extra boosting power to accelerate faster than before. It's quite interesting where this extra boosting power comes from. Of course, it's partly because of the new design of the motor, but even for a bigger part it's because it's extra big boosting capacitors inside the frame on the main computer. This controls this extra boosting power extremely efficient, and you feel that instantly when you press it. This one I'm so extremely excited about. This is about our new hydraulic braking system. Well, we all know hydraulic brakes is not completely new to the bicycle, of course. But what is extremely new is that a hydraulic brake system designed for urban use. It means it's stronger, you have more braking control, there are almost no cables that you can see, and very important, it's maintenance free. At VanMoof, it's not new to most of you, but we don't believe bigger locks is the real solution to bike theft. We really believe that an effortless locking and unlocking experience is extremely critical for a good user experience for your bicycle in the city. Where I'm always been extremely surprised basically that there is not any effort in making the best bicycle lock before. I mean, VanMoof's always been working on it. I find it extremely critical. We made a system that is easier than using your car key fob, for example. This gives you all the advantage that you need when you use your bike in the city. You just kick the lock at the rear wheel and the whole self-defense system is activated as well. And for unlocking, this goes even smoother because you basically don't need to do anything. Your Bluetooth will do the work. It will recognize you as a rider. You just walk towards the bike and you can ride away. In case you don't have your smartphone with you, you can always use that backup code through the handlebar button, which is this extra feature when your smartphone is empty or you don't have it with you. I think now we all know our famous bike hunters. These heroes, they finding back VanMoof's bike all over the world. It's unbelievable. And yeah, why do we do it? Why do we go so far in solving bike theft? The main reason is we think it's absolutely critical to get people riding better bikes. Solving bike theft will have people to ride better bikes because they will not have to be worried that their bike gets stolen. Riding better bikes will make people ride further and longer, which is of course also very critical in getting more bikes in the city. So this is all connected together. We've been working really hard in improving the onboard theft defense because we can track bikes down, we can hunt them, and it's all very important, but if you can prevent it to get being stolen in the first place, that's even of course a bigger win for us all. So ultimately, self-defense will eliminate bike theft for good.
Our bikes would be nothing without our riders, and we really care what you think. So we reached out to a few of you in the last weeks and sent you one of our very first S3s. Here's what happened.
It's a brand new VanMoof, it's not out
My
yet.
new VanMoof X3.
Wow, VanMoof, you did it again. As soon as I took it out of the box, I had a smile.
It's matte, it's blue, light blue.
Oh my god!
There is a new horn. See, there are 3 horns on it.
Well, we found the bell, so now we're gonna ride the bike.
Ready, bud?
Holy shit!
Oh my goodness.
I'm actually going faster than the scooter behind me.
It changes gears automatically. Did I do that? So fun!
Getting up hills is a lot easier, for sure.
Oh my god, I'm using the boost button now for the first time properly.
It almost feels like Mario Kart.
When you're on the turns, it feels like you are making one with the bike.
They're very efficient, of course. It's hydraulic braking.
Never seen something that clean.
The brakes are now this kind of like solid unit.
Let's try it with full speed. Wow, works.
There is not one negative point. Well, only good things. Congratulations.
Taking a nap on this bike. Can it steer itself as well?
This is literally a game changer.
I flew through Amsterdam. Total freedom.
This is honestly a completely new way of biking.
Amazing.
Welcome back. Right now, we are being overloaded by questions. I just heard from my colleagues over 500 and counting. Thanks for all being online. More than 6,000 people tuned in from all over the world now. So my team is gathered around me, some of my team, to select some of the questions, and they will pop up on my screen, and they will also pop up on Thies's screen in Taipei. And we're just going to run through some of the questions. Let's start with the first one. It's a question from Sophie out of one of my favorite cities, Munich. And the question is, when are you coming to Munich? Great question. I would love to, I love Munich, and I would love to ride my bike once again in Munich. And I hope this crisis is solved soon and we can come over. In general, we like to come to as many cities around the globe as possible. We have 9 brand stores now, but there's a plan. It's a little bit delayed, but there's still a plan to open 20 more pop-up stores this summer. And these pop-up stores are there so you can test ride the new S3 and X3, because we believe that's the most important right now, test riding, because you will discover for yourself, just like you saw in with the experience from our customers that we filmed, that you have to ride this bike to fall in love with it. But anyway, we are coming to you very soon, because Munich is definitely on our list of 20 pop-up stores. So let's get to I hope I answered your question, Sophie. Let's get to the next one. And the next question is, how will you service these bikes outside your brand store cities? And that's definitely a question for Thies. So Thies, let's get over to you.
Yes, let me do that one. And I see this. The question is from Stanley in Rotterdam. So I can really understand your question, because in Rotterdam, there's no brand store yet, of course. Yeah, first of all, I think what I like to explain first is that, of course, we from the day we started VanMoof, our goal is to make the VanMoof as maintenance-free as possible. You can see that from the brake system we developed, for example, but also from the drivetrain. From the motor we develop, everything is made maintenance-free as possible. And secondly, on top of that, I'd like to highlight that we can do over-the-air updates, and we bring that to a new level with the S3 and X3, where right now we can actually over-the-air update every single tiny electronic component and software in the whole bike. Which is a big step forward. It's very important for bug fixing and keeping the bikes bug-free on the long run. Thirdly, I think also important is that we build the bike quite modular. So actually, for example, the top tube can be exchanged very easily. So if there's something with that main computer or with the electronics in there, we can send you a new one, and it's very easy to swap. That being said, I do actually think, and I'm looking there to, yeah, I'm confident to say now that we're actually going to have a sort of like fixer service network, and we're going to do that in 21 cities with this launch. And that means in those cities you can get service at home or at work, for example. It's extremely exciting and a great start for a bigger rollout. And you will see in the checkout page, you'll see an option where you can actually use this service for a certain amount for 3 years, unlimited service at home. Taco, I think the next one from Frank is for you.
Yeah, let me see. There are still a lot cheaper e-bikes out there, and this is a question from Frank out of Berlin. There are still a lot of cheaper e-bikes out there. Aren't you worried about them? The quick answer is no. at VanMoof, we will never be the cheapest. And that's because our focus on quality, our focus on technology, and our effortless rider experience. We call it a seamless rider experience. So we will never be the cheapest. But because of our direct-to-consumer approach and because of the efficiency we gained through scaling this company and because of our laser focus on just one product. I mean, it's the S2 and X2, but still it's almost the same bike. So we have a laser focus on just one product. I am convinced that from a durability and rideability perspective, this bike is by far the best value one can get in the global market. I hope that answers that question a little bit, Frank. Let's get over to the next question. I love that one. Why not a removable battery? I would love to answer it, but I think Thies can do better. So, yeah, over to you, Thies.
Yeah, thanks, Linda. We got that question a lot, of course, in the past as well, so really great that I can answer that right now. We just believe in a razor-sharp focus, and that focus is making the best city bike in the world. Now, with a removable battery, there are some issues in the city. So, actually it can be stolen. It happens quite a lot with e-bikes. It looks very chunky, of course. There's also some weather issues. Overall, we think focusing on making the best city bike in the world, a non-removable battery, one that is protected inside the frame, is the best solution, even though for some people that might be not required. So for some people, of course, they want a removable battery. But for now, this focus on all the other people that don't need that is the most important for us. Then let me see for the next one, guys. I see next one from Eric. He says, is the new motor more powerful? I'm also going to answer that one, Taco, if you don't mind. The motor is, yes, absolutely yes. The motor is more powerful. Is it, in terms of, there's a little technical story to that, because in terms of wattage, it is not more powerful, of course, because you're limited to what the law allows you in a certain country. So in the EU, that's 250 watt. In the USA, it's 350 watt. But the key here is in the torque. The torque, the motor has double the torque from the previous model now. And the torque is what it's about now. We achieved that by a much higher gear ratio in the motor and by different kind of electronics, high boosting capacitors. We create much more torque, so you feel that when you go uphill in San Francisco or just for quick acceleration in the city. So thanks, Eric. That was very nice that give me the opportunity to explain that.
To show it a little bit, we've installed, we're going to do an experiment. We've installed this camera on this new S3, and we're going to ride the bike, streaming it live, ride the bike through Amsterdam, out of our headquarters in Amsterdam. And the thing I like the most about the S3 is that it really becomes a two-wheel drive. Because of the 4 gears, you have more power on your rear wheel, and because of the powerful motor, you have more power on the front wheel. So you can actually ride away with both wheels slipping. And just right now we have 3 trucks on the road. I have to wait 1 second, and then I'm gonna kick the pedals and at the same time hit the boost button. And as you can see, it accelerates only in a few meters. It accelerates to 25 kilometers an hour. It's almost a rush you get that's only comparable with accelerating in a Tesla with the what's it called, ludicrous mode. So you just do it once more, hit the pedals, hit the boost button, and then 3-4 seconds, both wheels are slipping, and I'm at 25 kilometers an hour. All right, let's get back into the HQ in our Amsterdam brand store to answer the final questions. Ties, over to you.
Yeah, if it's final, that's not up to us. That's up to the ones who are typing it. But here I see this one is also for me, so you take a breath. This is from Brenda. Brenda asks, why do you use a traditional chain instead of a belt drive? And that is also, that's such a great opportunity here to explain that one. It's also one that I've been explaining a lot already to different people, and it's great to share it with all of you. Of course, the belt drive is been on our radar for a long time. But there's one thing with the belt drive. Actually, two small things. It's not maintenance free, and it also is a bit more vulnerable for damage and how to say, like if someone intentionally damage it in the city. But the first one is most important, so it's not as maintenance free. You still have to adjust it. And with the chain that we developed with an automatic chain tensioner inside the chain cover, it's completely maintenance free. The only thing you need to do is give it a few drops of oil once every half year or 3 months, half year. That oil is already included in the box. And for the rest, you don't have to do anything. So that is the most important thing. Maintenance free again, riding without any worries. Thanks, Brenda. Next one is from Robert, I think. Over there, updates Taco, that one is for you. Give it a go.
Yes, I can do it. The question is from Robert de Jong, and he asks, what does the over-the-air updates mean? Does it connect via your phone or actually updates itself? Great question. Our bike has a Vodafone 2G or 3G connection, but we only use that to retrieve stolen bikes. So our bike hunters retrieve stolen bikes. You can find their bike hunter updates online on YouTube, a monthly update made by Emma. But we don't use that to update the bike. When you approach the bike, it connects with your smartphone via Bluetooth, and it checks your the VanMoof app for the latest updates. So if there are updates, it sends those updates to the bike, and that gives us as VanMoof the opportunity to improve your bike over the air and maybe implement some cool Easter eggs like new bell sounds. I think that's the last question we got, but I have some here. If we have some, if we had some extra time, we have the opportunity to answer some of the questions we got from fans on social media in the past week, especially from the VanMoofing Facebook group. So we had some short questions which I will answer really shortly. And the first one is, will there be an S3 front carrier? Will the front carrier come back? We had a front carrier with the S1. It disappeared with the S2. But now it's back, and I have good news. It's there. It will be. We will ship it out this summer. So that's awesome. So the front carrier for the S3 is back. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. The second question, will the paint be more scratch resistant? Everybody knows we had some issues with the paint on the S2 and the X2, and yes, we solved that. The new painting is beautiful. It's matte black and matte white. We call it dark and light, and it's definitely more scratch resistant. Third question. It's my favorite question. Yeah, will the sound of the bell ever change? It sounds like a submarine now. This is definitely the most common asked question in the past 2 years, the most heard complaint, and we solved that too. The new bell sounds, oh, wrong button. Yeah. The new bell sounds like a traditional bell again, and it's much louder. But if you want, in the app, you can switch back to the submarine bell, and you can also switch to the party mode and expect more sounds in the future. Next question, when do you start shipping? As you can see, Thies has a question. As you can see in the background of Thies, the production is already running. We start shipping mid-May. That doesn't mean, of course, the demand is high today, but we cannot guarantee that your bike will come mid-May, but we start shipping mid-May, and we'll ramp up production really fast, so we will be able to ship out most bikes anytime soon. Next question, is the 4 gears enough for San Francisco? I love riding my bike in San Francisco, but it has the steepest hills, I think, of all cities around the globe. We've tested the S3 in it, and the more powerful motor in combination with 4 gears is more than enough to ride up the hills of San Francisco. So that is fine too. Next question, can we test ride before we buy? Yes, all the S3s and X3s are now in the stores, available for test riding. All stores are open except for Tokyo and Paris, due to COVID, of course. Hopefully they will open up soon. It's important to highlight that because of COVID, you have to make an appointment on vanmoof.com to make a test ride, and hopefully that will open up soon so everybody can come, but please come to our stores, you will love it. And then the last question, is the price really $1,998 US or euros? Yes, it's not a pre-order amount, it's the real deal, it's the real price, that's the price, the introduction price, I should say, in definitely the first few months, that will get you an S3 or an X3. So that's all we have for now. A few important messages. First, keep an eye on the VanMoof Instagram page. We have received, I think, over 1,000 questions now, and we will answer most of them online on our VanMoof Instagram. We hope you enjoyed this experience. It's a first for us, but yeah, I think it went pretty well. I want to say thank you for my team who did an unbelievable effort. We had prepared a great launch event, 2 actually, all over the globe. Then the crisis came. In just 5 weeks, they had to adjust all their plans, but with the help of some great partners, they managed to organize this online event, and I think it was a great success. To thank you for attending this online event, we want to tell you a little secret. We just opened the web shop 1 minute ago, just for you. So if you hit, I think, the button in that corner, it will direct you directly to the web shop, and you'll find all the info and much more about the S3 and X3. But keep it quiet, because the official opening of the web shop is at 7 tonight, so that's 7 Central European Standard Time. Thanks again. Thanks for the team organizing this. Thanks for, most of all, for you attending this event. We are honored and we're humbled by your presence. And I want to finalize today with a message from VanMoof, a message from us, and that's it's time to ride the future. Thank you.
Thank you.